We're back, people, and today we're taking a look at the Cowboys offense for this Dolphins game. How can they could potentially slow them down, what their biggest threats are, what they like to do overall. Starting with the running game, which I don't think will have the biggest impact on this one. The Dolphins are very good at stopping the run. The Cowboys are definitely more effective as a passing team. They will attempt, get the run game going because they're really good off play action, but like overall, I don't expect them to have like a huge success there. Pollard's been like pretty below average this season as the full-on starter. He looks better when they've been giving him some more outside zone runs, some zone stuff, because they're running a lot of gap scheme. If they do that, I don't expect Pollard to find too much success, but he might, have a couple decent runs in this game. But overall, I think, if the Dolphins can hold these gains, get them into third and long situations, that's where they'll have their best chance. And then you get them to the passing game, what they really like to do. It's a very timing-based offense. They're either going to hit play action, get, these deeper drops to get Dak a chance to throw the ball down the field to Cooks or Lamb. They miss it here. Dak's been pretty good throwing the ball vertically this year, especially down the seam. He's a very good seam thrower. He'll throw seams versus like single high, and then versus two high looks, he'll throw the seam benders. That's where he really excels. It's definitely a timing-based offense. If they're not doing the play action stuff like this, it will be like three-step drop, hit your back foot, and get that ball out. So if you want to get pressure on Dak, you really have to. It's going to be more on the secondary, in my opinion, in this game, to get the pressure on him, because he hits that back foot. You got to make him go to his other reads, which he's good against. He's also quite good versus the blitz, so it's going to be have to happen with 4. You like other guys. They got CeeDee Lamb, who's an absolute stud, can play inside and outside. Cooks will be a vertical threat for sure. He has that speed. Got to pay attention to him. And then Jake Ferguson, their tight end, very physical, tough to bring down. They'll get him the ball down the seam or just dump it to him down in the flat and let him get going. But they're going to try to take some shots for sure. And they do this. Feels like they do take a deep early vertical shot. Like every single game I've watched now, like it will happen on that first drive. They do try to take at least one. Bills did a really good job versus Cowboys in this game, and they played a mix of cover 3 and cover 2, which like it just felt like that was what they were doing the most. But yeah, timing-based offenses, they'll try to disguise this stuff pre-snap. Kind of got to do that versus Dak. I mean, Dak's really good versus pre-snap and knows exactly where to go post-snap, so you got to disguise versus a QB like this. And they try to bring some pressure. That ball just comes out instantly. He knows, like, just based on, this flat under, he sees this safety, rotate single high. He knows he's going to have this slant all day long. Hit that back foot, get that ball out. So squeezing this stuff, making your disguises a little bit better pre-snap, and just not getting out-schemed, because Dak has been on a tear this year. Really looking at this Bills game as the blueprint on how to really slow down that Cowboys offense. Then the Cowboys get into 3rd and 14. This is where you're going to have to get your chance to get off the quarterback. Their O-line is pretty good. They bring 4. Dak is forced to really hold on to the ball. This is where he's going to feel a little more uncomfortable, because it's not like his typical 3-step drop, get rid of the ball, or, play action, have a super clean pocket, and hit the ball deep vertically, all within rhythm. He's a very timing, rhythm-based player. He can make some plays off script, but I wouldn't say that's like his biggest strength. That's not where he's really known for. I think he's, lost a little bit of his athleticism from injuries, over the years. But he still has some good pocket awareness, good movement, but he kind of rolls right into him that time. So, yeah, just good coverage on the back end. They just pass things off really well, and then now you're able to get some pressure on him. They might have some guys down. I know Zach Martin didn't play last week, but I think he might be back. And then their left tackle, Tyron Smith, also might not play this week from what I saw. So we'll see how it ends up working out. But, yeah, just need some big games from the guys up front. Cowboys do this a lot. When they get single high, they're either going to run like deep vertical, especially when they get space like this, it's going to be deep vertical, or they're really trying to sell vertical. You have a chance here to make some plays. I think Howard could get caught on some of these. Like, Howard's going to get matched up on Cooks a couple of times, and they're going to try to throw it vertically on him, or really sell vertical and then throw, sell the double move there, and then boom, sink on the curl. They're going to try to throw with anticipation. And they'll do this off of, play action, try to give himself some time. They bring blitz. You're going to have these one-on-one opportunities. Got to take advantage of those throws. I'm just, showing this stuff that they're going to do this on both sides of the ball. And it was basically just cover 1 with all this room. And they didn't attack the middle of the field. But, yeah, when they do play action like this, it's typically just a 2-man route concept down the field. 2nd and 9 situation, still early in the game. The game's still close enough. The Bills just did a good job. Dak gains about 5 yards here, which is, fine. But this is exactly what you are trying to accomplish as the Bills. They just do a good job passing everything off. They're trying to get the ball out quick. They're playing cover 2 over here. He passes it off to the flat. The slants, taken away initially here. So he goes back to the other side of the field. Everything's squeezed, basically taken away, all dead in their coverages. And it just forces Dak to take off and run. They end up getting a penalty there, but that's the type of stuff you're trying to do within, when you're playing these zone. Just make sure you pass everything off. Make sure, he goes through his reads very fast, but this is like the way, because like he's very in rhythm there, good hitches. But that's how you're going to end up having to get pressure on him, and hopefully you sack him before he can escape the pocket. Then 3rd and 4, taking this opportunity to CeeDee Lamb. They're going to try to, throw some of these layers. He's a good job at layering these throws, working, whether it's, sail or flood, these types of things. Have one guy underneath. It's just a 3-level thing. This guy works vertical. You have CD work behind. And I'm showing this because they run about basically the same concept later on and ends up getting intercepted. So this was like one of their only plays that works. So they tried to run it later and they baited it. The flat defender ended up gaining some depth and getting to that second level a little bit more. But when they're running stuff like this, you're going to have to, hopefully your DBs make a play, but those routes take a little bit longer to develop, so you're going to have to get some pressure up front. The Bills just did a really good job with their pressures up front, especially on like 3rd and longs. This is a 3rd and 9 situation. A little bit later into the game, they're showing like they're going to bring 5, but they end up basically bringing 4. One guy just becomes like a spy, and then they stunt up front. So like they show the 5 here. Bernard goes like he's going to blitz, which, they slide to the right. So it gets 2-on-2 to the other side, and this guy crashes down really well, and it gets the guard to turn around, and it gets Jordan Phillips to come in free on Dak there. So Dolphins do love to run a ton of stunts. It's all about, how you're able to show it disguised pre-snap. I mean, Bills just did that to absolute perfection. Dolphins are quite good at it as well. I'm not saying it's something that always works for the Cowboys, because their line's pretty good, but this is where you do have a chance to really get to them in these situations. Gotta show this because they do, love to throw these types of routes. Like, they think it might be a single high, they rotate to 2 high, and then they'll throw the ball down the middle of the field. If it stayed single high, CD probably, like, if this guy stayed single high and was in the middle of the field, CD would have stayed down this path, and then he would have tried to throw it in the seam versus cover 3. But since they rotate into cover 2, CD bends his route towards the middle of the field. It ends up being, Tampa 2. He carries him. And Dak is really good at making these throws. Like, he's very accurate with it. But your safeties are going to have a chance to make a big-time play. Like, that ball's probably shouldn't have been thrown. And the Bills safeties always do a very good job against this stuff. But, yeah, this is he can put his receivers in some harm's way here. These are very tough catches and throws that he tries to make every single week. It will happen at least once, probably multiple times, and hopefully they can disguise their coverages and make a play on the back end. Then they get into 3rd and medium, 3rd and 5. They're definitely that's why you want to stop the run on early downs. They're definitely better when they have a more 3rd and manageable situation. 3rd and long, when they have to hold on to that ball a little bit longer, their offense just gets thrown off a tiny bit. Ferguson beating some man-to-man here. Just good job. They're going to throw that all day long. Ferguson's a pretty good player, pretty reliable hands. They'll throw that seam that you just saw to CeeDee Lamb to him as well. He's definitely a guy you got to pay attention. They do like to go empty too. Here they're just in 2x2, but just a lot of different looks that they're going to try to get to you. The Bills just run 2-man on this specific play, and he's pretty much the only one that won his one-on-one matchup. And hopefully for the Dolphins, and they're not going to run cover 2-man, so this exact scenario won't happen, but they will run some zone match, and this could get some one-on-one with their tight end, and that could be a few different players that the Dolphins end up having on him. Last play they're going to break down, like I showed you that one play earlier where CD got open late. They ran it way more lazy this time. As you can see, like this guy doesn't pull the flat defender down. The guy who's working vertically isn't working as far out. It's just the spacing and timing gets thrown off. CD's jogging this time and gets rerouted. So you got to reroute, throw off the disruptive timings. This guy gains more depth now because of that, and then it just becomes an easy interception to close out the game. At this point, the game's pretty much over, so it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, just wanted to show, they'll try to go back to the same concept. Watch this stuff on film. Slow down this stuff. They get lazy with it, and the Bills take advantage. They just had a really good game plan. Lots of cover 2. Dolphins will run mostly run cover 3 and cover 6/8. So it will be cover 2 to one side of the field when they run that stuff. And it will be interesting to see what they do, because I expect Howard to be back this week. Will Ramsey shadow again like he did last week? I don't think he will. Just because CeeDee Lamb plays so much in the slot, I don't think he's going to shadow down to the slot a bunch. But I do expect to see like what they did against the Chiefs with all the bracketing stuff they did, with all the different like either or calls, like wherever 88 aligns, like they have multiple sets of eyes on him. And I think if they do that, they can have a pretty successful day. Like their other guys are no slouches, but I do think there's defenders on this team that can have some better success against them. But 1-on-1 versus CD, if it's not Ramsey, I think Lamb's probably going to win that battle most of the time. So if you guys know the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.